What's up, y'all? This is Brave, and I'm back for another review of Zatima. This is season 2, episode 12, and the episode is titled Risky Business. Baby, let's get right into this review. So we are still at the open mic night. We actually see Zach, and he's talking to his friends, Tony and Nate. So they're like, oh, I didn't know that she could sing like that or whatever. And then here comes Nate. He feels like Fatima was all disrespectful because she was up there singing a song. Negro, why are you always having something to say? Like, can you please shut up? And then, y'all, here's the part that got me. Belinda ends up walking up. Come to find out, her and Nate have something going on. I'm like, what is happening right now? So, of course, she out here trying to make a scene because she sees Zach. Zach is making a scene because he sees her. They have bad blood. But what got me was the fact that she tried to blame Zach on her and Fatima falling out. Like, no, that wasn't on Zach. That was on you being messy. So, next thing you know, Zach, he ends up rolling up on Angela, because he trying to figure out where Fatima is. Also, we learned that the guy who is there with Angela, his name is Sam. I'm wondering if we're going to see more of him this season because I would like to see, Angela dating somebody not Bryce. So Zach has now figured out that Fatima, she's staying with Angela. So now he feel like he could go ahead and pull up on her. And it's like, no, that's not what that means. So next thing you know, we see Fatima. She about to get it popping with Paul. Now, before they can really even get started, she stops him or whatever. Now, Paul is annoying because he's like, oh, I know what this is. I've been through therapy. Y'all, what that got to do with any of this? Like, in this moment, the situation was, old girl is out here trying to get some get back because her man did her dirty, but she still love her man, so she can't do it. I don't think that got anything to do with therapy. I really don't. It's called having a conscience. That's what that is. So, next thing you know, they chit-chat about therapy and how it makes you think so clear. Again, what that got to do with right now? Because I feel like at this point, he is using this therapy talk as a way to get the draws. Am I the other one who feels that way? So she doesn't want to use him or whatever. And he's like, use me up. You can even call me his name. I'm like, how thirsty are you, Paul? So, she don't want him to leave, right? So at this point, Paul, he's like, oh yeah, let's play the comparison game. And let me tell y'all what the comparison game is. It's the let me list all the reasons why I'm better than Zach. Sir, please just sit there and let her talk because you are driving me nuts. Like, according to him, he picked up all these things that he noticed about Fatima during dinner. How they both like theater. They like this. They like that. Sir, you're putting it on real thick. And now she feels like Paul is a good guy, but the timing ain't right. So they talk about, her having deal breakers. And basically, Zach broke the deal because he slept with somebody else. Even though he did not sleep with Connie. However, he decided to tell his fiance that he did. So at this point, she tells Paul, you know what? You gotta go. Angela shows up and she's like, oh yeah, you gotta go. Sam gotta go. Both of y'all gotta get up out my house or whatever. Because Angela's like, listen, Zach is supposed to be coming over here, so y'all both gotta go. And here goes the men talking about some, oh no, we'll stay. Now listen, I'm with Angela. Y'all not about to mess up my nice house. Because we done already saw and heard about how Zach gets down in fights as well as Paul. No thank you. So Fatima, she starts to tell Angela what went down between her and Paul once him and Sam left, right? Y'all, why did Tony pull up outside with Zach? And he's out here doing all the barking. Like, I don't even think Zach said much. But Tony is out here doing all the barking. I'm like, sir, I need for you to sit down, shut up, and cool it. So Paul basically tells Zach, like, oh yeah, let me talk to you real quick. And I'm like, why do you need to pull him to the side? Just say whatever you gotta say. So he basically tells Zach, like, she want to be with you. Now, this whole scene, Tony is still over here acting up, pretending to fight the air. I'm just like, could y'all please take Tony's goofy ass away? Like, he's not funny at all. So we actually see Zach, go into Angela's house. Now, Fatima, she decided to go run and hide. And Angela's like, Fatima, she's not here or whatever. And of course, he knows that Angela is lying about it. But Angela, she was just like, listen, what you can do is go back to that chick that you was, messing around with. Now he decides that he's going to deny, ever messing with Connie. But sir, you already said that you did, and she was there and heard you say it. So do you see how ridiculous you look, Zachary? You look crazy. Okay? So, another thing that annoyed me, Angela's one better than me. Because when I tell y'all, Zach would have had to get the hell up out of my house with all that yelling he was doing, out here hollering, Fatima, 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 every 5 seconds. Ain't no way. He over here hollering, talking about some, Fatima, I just want to talk. Fatima, please, please, Fatima. Fatima, I love you. Bye, Zachary. Goodbye, Zachary Taylor. So, next we actually see Zach and Bryce. Zach is out here pouting like a child because Bryce is over here trying to say, listen, we need to make this deal happen. So Zach ends up asking Bryce, how does he feel about, the whole therapist? And Bryce is like, listen, he has credentials and he felt like the doctor was right, about everything that he said. So now Zach, he's over here questioning if he needs therapy. Zach, you're dragging this. You really are. Like, just go ahead and go already, because we're tired. So Bryce ends up telling him that they should go see the place or whatever that he wants to make a deal on. I'm like, okay, fine. Let's go ahead and move on. Now we see Fatima, she's at her job and the therapist ends up calling her to check on her. So then he tells her, I have an open slot at noon. Sir, you doing a little bit too much for me right now, because why are you calling her, number one? And number two, why do I need to rearrange, if I was Fatima, why do I need to rearrange my whole schedule so I can squeeze in fitting you at lunchtime? That sounds like a lot. And also, sir, you better not try to charge her insurance company for this little meetup that you decided to plan. But I digress. So Fatima's like, what is this all about? And he's like, oh, it's something about Zach. I want to tell you something about him. Negro, if you don't tell me over the phone, I'm not coming all the way down there, because now this is sounding like hot gossip. But nonetheless, she says that she's going to go ahead and head there at noon. Now, keep in mind, while all this is happening, Angela comes into her office. I said, Angela, could you go back upstairs? Like, how you just rolling and strolling right on through the law office like this? You don't work on this floor. Also, it bothers me whenever we see the supposed outside of the law office, because ain't no way it's that many floors in that building, and it damn sure ain't got that parking structure. But I digress. Nonetheless, Angela, like I said, she came by the office. They talk about how, Zach has lied about cheating on Fatima. Fatima wants to stick to her guns on not being with him. And she goes on to say that she's going to go out with Paul again. So, at this point, Angela, for some reason, she is starting to feel, a little bad for Zach. And I'm like, why are you feeling bad for Zachary? Angela, stop being wishy-washy. Like, please, stick to one side or the other. Alright, so the next thing we have Zach going to the barbershop. He ends up talking to, I think that was Tony's dad or whatever. I don't understand how word has spread to this old man that Zach and Fatima broke up. I'm trying to understand. This ain't like these people are like popping on social media and they stop liking each other's pictures and unfollowed each other. Like, these is regular people. How you know this, old man? Nonetheless, Zach is trying to figure out if he needs therapy, right? According to this man, Zach don't need no therapy. The barbershop is the therapy. I'm like, you know what? And this is why you are the way you are, old man. Please move along. So, next thing you know, Nate, his weird ass shows up. He's over here questioning Zach, about if he hit Belinda. And it's like, dude, that was from the past. Let it go. Now, according to Nate, because y'all know he's married, his wife done put him out, and Nate likes Belinda. And according to him, she's cool with the situation with him being married. I'm like, Belinda, please get some self-esteem about yourself. Come on now, girl. First you was chasing down Zach, and that was your homegirl, man. And now you're with Nate, and you cool with the fact that he's a married man. Girl, get it together. So the rest of that little scene, it was unnecessary. So we're going to go ahead and skip right on over that. Now, Paul is at the law office. I said, you know what? Y'all just rolling and strolling through this damn law office like y'all work here. Paul, you don't work here. Angela, you don't work here. Who is letting y'all through? The receptionist ain't doing her job, okay? Nonetheless, Paul and Fatima, they decide that they're going to go on a date at 8 p.m. Cool for them. Now, here comes Angela. Didn't I just talk about her? She talking about some, hey, girl, let's go to lunch. All this stuff. Angela, please go back to your job, first of all. Secondly, we could have scrapped this entire scene because everything that Angela was trying to talk about with Fatima, she already talked about when they were sitting there in her office. I'm like, Tyler, did you forget that you already had these women have this conversation about how Angela and Fatima were talking in Fatima's office about her going to see the therapist? Please fix it. Nonetheless, we back at the barbershop. Belinda shows up. So she over here trying to get Nate to go buy her some food from a Chinese spot or whatever. And I'm like, girl, you ain't getting nothing out of this man because he is broke, okay? He been broke since we met him. But nonetheless, I almost forgot. Tony's sweaty ass was there. I said, Tony, why are you always sweaty? Like, that's disgusting. Go to a doctor and get that checked out. So Tony ends up walking away. I'm like, okay, so we didn't even need you for this scene. And come to find out, Belinda is the one who showed Nate Fatima's dating profile, I guess, or her social media profile. However, it is that he's stalking Fatima. She's like, she gonna come to me crying about how she broke up with him, and Nate feels like, Zach is gonna do the same. These two are happy that these people have broken up. And I'm like, y'all are weirdos. Like, straight up weirdos. Talking about we waiting on them to call us. Good night. So next thing you know, Angela, she ends up walking up. So she notices that Nate is Zach's friend or whatever. Now, for some reason, these two are trying to chit chat as if they still like good friends, but they're not. Talking about some, yeah, girl, you should call me. Oh yeah, I'm gonna call you, girl. All of this foolishness. Here's the thing. Angela, you already know Belinda is a snake. So I don't even know why you playing in her face. Like, it literally got to the point where Belinda tries to bring up Fatima and Zach breaking up and talking about some, and if Fatima needs somebody to talk to, I'm there for her. Girl, bye. Again, Angela, stick on one side or the other. Either you gonna rock with Belinda or you gonna rock with Fatima at this point. Please stop it. Now let's go on back over to Zachary, okay? Zach, he goes back to the hood. Y'all, I'm so ready for somebody to like steal his car or something while he keep playing in the hood. I'm over it. So he goes to look for his mom, right? That's the whole reason why he's here. But who does he see? Connie. Connie is so thirsty, it's despicable. Like, she is all up on this man. She over here talking about how she want to smash him and all of this. Girl, go find you something to do. Actually, do you even have a job? Because it looks like you don't. Like, Connie really has to stop thirsting after Zach. But nonetheless, Zach ends up going to find his mom and his brother, right? Y'all, is the brother on drugs? Because I feel like the brother is on the same drugs that the mama is on. So Zach, he's there and he wants to talk to them or whatever. But they don't want to have a conversation with him. They only want money. They always only want money. Here comes Jeremiah like, well, dude, you living in a mansion. When I tell you I fell out when Zach was like, well, I'm living in a duplex, I said, yeah, that's exactly what it is, because you definitely have a tenant and she can hear everything that's going on in your household. But nonetheless, my thing is this. Zach actually gave them the money just so he could have this conversation with them, right? So what's weird is that the brother is like, oh, are you wearing a wire? I'm like, you know what? This whole scene is weird. Like, let's move this storyline along. So the mom, she finally agrees to talk to him or whatever, but he has to buy her a cigarette. I said, you trust this woman again? Because last time she Houdini'd you. So do you really trust her again, sir? So Zach, he basically tells her, as well as the brother, both y'all come with me, right? Fine. So now we get to Fatima. She goes to see Dr. Reed. And she's like, what is this about? He says, oh, you're going to be surprised. Why, oh why, did she walk into the freaking room and we see Zach is there? He done brought his mama there and his brother so that they could get some therapy. I know you lying. I know this man did not call Fatima for this. Because last time that I checked, Fatima is no longer with Zachary. They're not married. And Zach's problems with his mama, that's on him. That has nothing to do with Fatima. If I was Fatima, I would have turned right around and said, this ain't got nothing to do with me. Goodbye. And please do not charge my insurance because this does not count as a visit. Nonetheless, I was taken aback because knowing the way Zach's family is, there's no way you're going to tell me that they just sat there in silence and waited for Fatima to show up. And secondly, why didn't we send him to rehab first? Like, I feel like Zach can do a few sessions of therapy without his mama or his brother, and he needs to send him to rehab. That's what needs to happen around here. But y'all, let me know what y'all thought about this episode. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe to my channel, and I will talk to y'all in my next review. Bye, guys.